Hey, what's up guys? Twintuitive 717. I'm back with another reading. I'm going to dive right into a message for the Twin Flame Collective, and I want to shed some light upon the separation energy that I am picking up for those of you who might be just feeling a little bit down, or you might be heartbroken, or feeling like there is some kind of loss, or you might be longing for your person, or you might be missing them. You could be feeling like separation is like the end of the world, okay? And some of you may be new to this feeling. It could be happening, the first few times on your journey, and it really does feel like a soul shock, because oftentimes with your counterpart, you experience every single emotion on an intensified level. So it really does shock your soul into some kind of recognition or change, or even the awakening process. And when we start to awaken, we start realizing that we want to be the best versions, the most honest, authentic versions of ourselves in this lifetime. No wearing a mask. I don't want to pretend. I really just want to attract good vibrations, good people into my life. I don't want to have to pretend to be something that I'm not. Your counterpart brings all of these lessons onto the table, and it can be really scary, and sometimes you love them and sometimes you're completely repulsed by them, and sometimes you can't help but miss them and crave them, and then other times you really just want to be left alone by them. So it really is just a journey of a lot of twists and turns, and I feel like this reading is meant to be just a reminder for those of you who, again, you might be just kind of dumbfounded by the separation energy. And this is a gentle reminder from the universe, if this reading finds you, that it's a blessing, okay? What things are coming up for you to acknowledge and to heal at this time? Okay, so we have discipline. So it says, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Okay, so the reason you're going through separation is because you're too focused on this person. This person may come into your life, and in Trinidad, we like to say bazodi, right? Lovesick. They might make you feel lovesick. All of a sudden, you lose sight of your goals. You might start, messing up at work. Maybe you're getting lazy. Maybe you're not feeling as motivated. And they present this energy to you to help you remember that you have to have discipline in every single area of your life. Your twin flame may mirror the fact that sometimes when you do get caught up in relationships, that you do have the ability to get lost in another person, or lost in fantasy, or you might lose sense of just logic, how to be able to manage your emotions properly, how to be able to give someone space, how to not cling to someone, how to not be needy. Maybe all of a sudden you find that you're trying to pay attention to your attachment styles, and how it is you could be so focused in work and be so disciplined in work, but when it comes to relationships, you're just a hot mess. So I feel like for many of you, it is just a time of realizing that, maybe it is time to step back from this, because I have lost sight of things that I used to be really disciplined with. Like maybe I used to work out every day. I used to do yoga every day. I used to have a craft that I love doing, or a hobby that I really like. And now all of a sudden, since I've been in the cycle with my person, I've just been feeling drained, and I feel like I've been chasing this, and I feel like I've been, losing parts of myself, and I just don't feel the same. And the universe is letting you know you have to have more discipline. It is time to have healthy conversations, okay? Don't get into old patterns and just stop talking to them and ghost them, and hopefully it'll come back around, and then you two will just talk as though nothing ever happened. It's like, it's time to really break those cycles, and it's time to start being disciplined about making healthier choices on your journey. And it all starts with you. Like when you start communicating in healthier ways, your counterpart will start communicating in healthier ways. But I feel like for many of you, this is a time of being able to just take the necessary space that you need to, for the sake of getting your life together, getting your shit together, because I feel like behind closed doors, it is falling apart. And many of you are feeling like you're devoting way too much time and energy into maybe trying to make things work, or trying to make things last. And the universe is reminding you that that's not what the journey is about. The journey is about recognizing when you're falling off the path, and when you're, again, losing that touch or that connection with yourself. Okay, so let's see what other things are coming up for you to pay attention to as you become disciplined. Okay, so we have friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Okay, so maybe many of you are having to release the connection in a way where you can at least embrace the friendship, okay? Embracing that this person is in your life for a reason, and they're meant to teach you lessons, and maybe it may not be lovers, but I feel like for many of you, that could be the expectation that you're releasing. That's what's been causing a lot of this back and forth, a lot of the drama, a lot of the heartache. Maybe it's time to be disciplined about your need for sensual activity, your need for intimate activities. Maybe it's time to be disciplined and realize that life is not all about, the romance and the constant, need to be texting this person about love and the passion. And, maybe it's time to use that pent up energy and go take a run and go take a jog and embrace the friendship for what it is and what it is they may be teaching you about yourself. Because I feel like I don't know why I'm getting the word lovers very strongly attached to this friendship card. I feel too, like, to be quite honest with you guys, maybe this discipline has a lot to do with both of you learning a really good lesson around like how you view intimacy in general. That there's more to a connection than just the pepperoni, you know what I mean? Some of you might be working on learning to build a friendship first, okay? And that's why the separation has occurred. Okay, so discipline with your energy, discipline with boundaries, okay? But nonetheless, this person is coming into your life to help you learn a valuable lesson. So don't see the separation as such a burden. I feel like it really genuinely is teaching you something about yourself that may be hard to hear, but nonetheless, it is time for you to make some kind of change in the way that you are seeing things, okay? It may be here that you need to put your priorities into check and give whatever this is a break. It's starting to maybe become toxic. Maybe you might end up losing this friendship. Maybe you might end up turning it into something that it might get to that point of it's too late to return back to this friendship. Okay, so being disciplined and starting to recognize the signs of when that is happening, I feel like the universe is gently nudging and whispering into your ear. Okay, you're also getting forgiveness. Okay, so I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So some of you might need forgiveness towards this person, because I am hearing the words abrupt ending. So I feel like ghosting could be a big part of this. It's like you're communicating and then all of a sudden it just stops, and many of you might just be, again, just withering away in this resentment energy, and you really just need to harbor forgiveness and not have judgments of yourself or this person, and just keep the life lessons moving, okay? There is no need to sit around and ask yourself a million questions about what went wrong. It's just, in your heart of hearts what's coming up for healing, okay? I feel like too, with this energy of the discipline, many of you may know where you just might have been giving too much of yourself, or you might have been overpouring, or maybe you weren't getting reciprocation, or maybe you need to really reevaluate what this friendship means with this person. And if it is a friendship, are you two crossing boundaries in places that you shouldn't be, that's causing feelings of resentment to build in the first place? Okay, so many of you are really getting clear on how it is you operate in relationships. Okay, it's like this time apart is getting you to really be clear on your expectations. And what I feel like I mean by that, especially with this friendship card coming through, is like expectations. Like maybe many of you were thinking that you were lovers and this person saw it as just friendship. And if you saw it as lovers and they saw it as friendship, then maybe you two were crossing certain boundaries that you shouldn't have been. And maybe you should have been disciplined in seeing the red flags or seeing the signs. Maybe you did see the red flags and you decided to just go in anyway. And there's nothing wrong with that, because, you live and you learn, and it might be a tough lesson where you might bruise your knees, but hey, clean it up, get some rubbing alcohol, pat it dry, put a Band-Aid on it, and keep it pushing. Okay, that's why you need to maybe harbor forgiveness for yourself. Okay, a lot of you might feel really shitty, especially if these have been really highly intimate connections that have really made you lose your mind in terms of just how you give yourself intimately, okay? But there's, again, nothing wrong with that, because you're human and you chose to learn these very lessons to help your soul grow and elevate. So go easy on yourself, okay? It's just a gentle reminder that there are certain things that need to be put into perspective, and you need to have more discipline when it comes to certain connections that are coming into your life and the way that you carry yourself. Be very sure of what it is you want and then execute. Okay, you're also getting happiness. And I feel like that's your outcome card here, because maybe many of you needed the validation that it was okay to just let this go. And it was really hard to not let it go, because you're like, how am I going to live with myself? Like, I thought this was supposed to mean something. I've already given so much into this, but it's okay to let things go, even if you've poured into it right? Sometimes we need to let it go. Sometimes maybe pouring into it, it's never a mistake, you know. Sometimes it teaches us such a valuable lesson, and there's so much soul growth that's occurring when you do acknowledge your mistakes, or when you do acknowledge that, okay, wait a second, I'm walking the path in a way that it's like, it doesn't feel comfortable, okay? And I acknowledge it. Maybe I did some things that were not in alignment with who I was, but at least I learned it's not in alignment with who I am, and I'm willing to change it and not just keep going along with something that's just not me or who I am. Okay, and I feel like as long as you acknowledge that, you'll get that peace of mind. Okay, it's okay to have made the mistakes that you have with this person. It's okay that there is this awkward separation now and this silence. Forgive yourself. It's not the end of the world. In true twin flame connections, you know, your person is always going to return, you know, especially after you guys acknowledge the lesson. But if you harbor feelings of resentment, then it's just going to continue to go in cycles. You know, you might just end up reaching out again, and you might be putting yourself out there in a way that's like the universe is saying, hey, you know, you can't keep doing that. You're going to keep, you know, pushing this person further and further away. So I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. So make a choice that makes you feel happy, because I feel like a lot of you are engaging with cycles with this person that, you know, after it's said and done and maybe intimate moments occur, it just doesn't feel like genuine friendship. You know, maybe it doesn't feel like there's enough reciprocation there. Many of you may need to have restraint again and discipline when it comes to the way that you engage in relationships. I feel like that's the main message coming through. I'm going to get a card on your best course of action right now. Take a break from focusing on your twin flame journey so much, on your person and what it is they may be doing, how it is they may be perceiving you. Forgive yourself. Let it go. Let things flow. The minute you let it go and the minute you forgive yourself and focus on something else, you give it energetic space. But the more you're letting it take up space in your mind, if that's your twin, they can feel every bit of it. Okay, so you really got to energetically let this go. Let's see what else you can focus on. What does the universe want you to focus on at this time as you forgive yourself and just let this go for now? Okay, so we have the 10 of Cups, an emotionally fulfilling life with family, with friends, raising children wisely, and people coming into your life that you can maybe trust at this time. So it's letting you know it's time to focus on things that make you feel happy, people that pour back into you. Many of you have maybe felt really distant from that since stepping onto this journey with this person. Remember, when you exchange intimacy with somebody, you absorb a lot of their trauma, a lot of their energy as well. So I feel like many of you who may need more discipline, it's like, be very mindful of that and be aware of that. Like, what's the dynamic between you and the person that you're exchanging intimacy with, and have very clear expectations for yourself on that. Make sure that you're having mature conversations about what the expectations are when you choose to exchange intimate energy with somebody else, okay? And protect yourselves. I feel like this is what's trying to protect you at this time, is like refilling you. 10 of Cups is like fulfillment. It's happiness. It's really feeling supported and loved. And I feel like maybe that is what the outcome is for many of you. Spending more time around people who, again, make you feel like you can trust again. Making you feel like you are safe. And I feel like a lot of you are learning a very valuable experience as well when it comes to raising children, okay? Observing the way that you may experience relationships, observing the way that you may behave or act in relationships, and then realizing that I've got to set a better example. You know, it's like I feel like many of you who may be having like really emotional or highly intense experiences with your counterpart, especially when it comes to reciprocating, many of you are starting to like stop and have more discipline and realize like, wait a second, what kind of example would I be setting? Like, why am I giving to a situation like this? Like, I really need to be very clear on my expectations, what it is I want for myself and what it is I want out of life, and really start assessing the relationships in my life and seeing whether they align with those goals. And if they don't, you gotta bust out that Queen of Swords energy and let go of it, even if it hurts. Okay, and that's the realization that I feel like maybe many of you could be having at this time. Okay, so that is the check-in for today. I hope you guys have found the message well. You guys take it easy. Catch me on Hipsy if you want to chit-chat and talk maybe deeper into this energy. Maybe something is going on in your own personal life that you might want to tap into. I am available from 9 p.m. until midnight tonight. So yeah, give me a call. I'd love to dig deeper. Otherwise, I do have a membership section with extended readings for you guys to check out and just get more cozy in my community. All right, until the next video, you guys take it easy. Bye.